Welcome to 360 Parenting with Ibukolo Tashley on Honor 103.5 FM. DJ Cole, I think it's okay for me to still say Happy New Year. I think what you're seeing this year. Welcome to year 2025. I pray that the year 2025 will be a great year for all of us. Will be a better year. 2024 has come and it has gone. And 2025 is already like in a speedboat too. Because today's what? Today's the 13th. Today's the 13th day of the month of January in the new year 2025. I'd like to say again thank you to all of our listeners that stayed with us through 2024 and are still with us in the year 2025. Let me also use this opportunity to invite other people to be a part of 360 Parenting, that radio program where we talk about everything that has to do with your children. Yes. Your children, my children, raising children to grow to become responsible adults that can make meaningful contribution to bring about the new Nigeria that all of us are clamoring for. On 360 Parenting, we'll talk about everything that has to do with raising them. Yes, parenting them. Nobody but had to parent children from heaven or from wherever. We learn to parent them and to parent them well. And because of the changes that, that we experience now, it becomes important for you to be intentional, or for us, because I'm a parent too, for us to be intentional about learning how to parent. You must learn how to parent. You must master how to parent your children. So good afternoon to you wherever you're listening to me from. Welcome to 360 Parenting. On 360 Parenting, for those that do not know, we usually remind ourselves what our responsibility to our children, what those responsibilities are, and we use the word parent itself to remind ourselves. And so the P in the word parent stands for protection. It's your responsibility to protect your children from physical harm, from emotional harm, from sexual harm. You have to protect your children. Their protection falls on you as the parent. The A there is give attention. Children thrive on attention. They cannot get too much of attention. It's important that we give attention to them. If you're, for whatever reason, not in the same space, geographical location with your children, please leverage technology to still give attention to them. There are so many tools now that you can leverage on to still do what you're expected to do as a parent. You must give attention to your children. Respond to them, respond to their needs, their cares, their wants when you can, but more importantly, their needs. Respond also to their fears, their worries, their concerns. Don't just brush it aside. When they raise issues with you, have conversations with them, respond to it, take steps. And if you don't know what to do, be sincere with them enough to say, oh, I don't know what to do right now, but we will find a solution. Or I would do something about it, maybe not in the immediate, but I would work at something. So it's important that you respond to them and they know, or they feel or sense or trust that you respond to them. You are their number one cheerleader. Please encourage them. When they're doing well, let's not always just be quick to chastise them. When they're doing well, let's also just encourage them. And the end there is for nurturing. I remember somebody said, while we're doing this our giveaway that we did, someone has said N was for nutrition or something like that. So the N here is for nurturing. You have to be intentional with your children part-time. What's your child eating? What's your child wearing? What's your child watching? What's your child listening to? You must nurture your child. What are the kind of values? What are the skills that you want your child to have? It's important that you are intentional about all of these things and you nurture the child. And then the T there is for you to teach, for you to train them how to behave, how to comport themselves, how to respond to people. It is our responsibilities as parents to train them. And that's what, we remind ourselves of every Monday between 4:30 and 5, what we're supposed to do to our children, with our children, and every child that is in our sphere of influence. Because we do not have much time, I just want to wrap up the conversation that we had started. It was two Mondays ago. We promised that we will bring Prof back to conclude that conversation, but so that we can conveniently just move to another one without leaving that. Let me do like, can I call it a John the Baptist? Just because, let me just do like a John the Baptist walk so that we wrap that up, and then we'll find a time to still bring Professor Yisoji Aremu back on the program to conclude the conversation. We started a conversation about crime at risk children. Yes, children that have the propensity to commit crime. Let's not forget the fact that Yorubas will say that ilebada, when there's nobody looking, everybody can do what ordinarily they would not have done. Let me say it in that way. So when you have children that are crime at risk, meaning children that have propensity to commit crime, when you identify them, what do you do with such children or to such children? One of the most important things that you can do is mind reorientation. And you can achieve that when you engage these children, engage their mind. It's like, you play mind games with them and then distract their minds from focusing on, the particular vice or the behavior that will cause them to, or make them vulnerable to commit a crime or to do, what they're not supposed to do. First thing is to remove them from the environments that can predispose them. So because even when a child is a crime at risk child, if you remove that child from that environment or environment where it can easily get into crime or it can easily access what can aid him to get into crime. If you remove that child from that environment and you work with that child is very likely not to commit any crime. But when you put that child still in the environment where, he sees violence, environment where he sees that, there are no values, environment where crime thrives, then that child is very likely to will just continue or just toe that path. So first thing you want to do is to remove that child from that environment. The second thing you want to do is you want to engage the mind of that child. So you disengage the mind from focusing on crime and then social vices or habits that can encourage him or predispose him to commit those crimes. And then you want to engage him with other things. You want to help him build himself. You want to help him acquire skills, life skills, how to talk, how to think about himself, problem solving skills. Help him find himself or herself. Let me be gender sensitive at this point. Let the child, male or female, find himself or herself. How just expose that child to several opportunities, and you will find that the child will have interest in one or two of the many opportunities that you present to the child, and then you can now narrow down to that particular opportunity or that skill or that talent that you see the child display, and then work on that particular talent, and work on that particular talent to help the child. What you want to do is you want to change, you want to redirect, yes, that's the word to you. You want to redirect the thinking, the mind, the perception of that child. You want to do a mind shift. Another thing you want to do is modeling. You want to present to that child a positive model, someone else, somebody that the child can see, can want to be like, can want to fashion his life, or I don't know why I keep saying his life. Apologies. This is not to say that the boy child is more crime at risk. So when I say boy or a girl, the child, what you want to do is to positive role modeling. That's another very important thing. And you see, the thing about this is you really don't have to wait until that child really becomes crime at risk. It means that you can also use this to just help your children to ensure that they don't become delinquents, or that they don't become, what's the word now, rebellious, or what's this other word that I think the linguist to speak to. So invariably, if you have a child that is not acting in line with what how you would want that child to act, or in line with what the society dictates as what is right and wrong.